Jesse, are you ready for some juicy bits?
I'm
Jesse,
fucking mad because this microphone's a piece of shit.
nobody cares.
Canadian politics is boring, juicy bits.
Canadian politics is boring, juicy bits.
Well, yeah, I'm a quality snob, and I can't. We were futzing with this fucking $80 Audio Technica microphone for like 20 minutes,
You're
and
not,
now I have to
if you're
use.
using an $80 microphone, you're not a quality snub.
No, no, okay, no. I have a $300 microphone at home that I've been using, but I'm visiting family, and this is all I could stuff in my backpack last minute, and it's a piece of fucking shit, and I'm gonna chuck it away.
Throw it in the ocean.
So I'm sorry, dear listener or viewer, you have to deal with the audio coming from my iPhone, which is capturing my lovely mug, which I'm sure sounds horrible. And Reese says he's going to make it sound real pretty. I doubt that very much.
If I have time, I might. Anyway, I was going to do an update on the Alberta election because it's very interesting.
Okay.
So since we last spoke about the Alberta election, Alberta is still on fire. That's the main headline.
Yeah, I've been sent photos from friends who were living in Alberta, before and after photos of like the school grounds that they work in. It's just night and day. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's very frightening.
it's terrifying. But the other news is that apparently some UCP supporters are trying to they got scrutineers. They go in and scrutinize the election to make sure everything's fair. There's a group that have been trying to infiltrate other parties' campaigns to act as security on voting day to hopefully disrupt the count, which is pretty bad.
Hold on. Why are they doing this? They don't want the election to happen?
No, they just want to I think it's that thing of like, like what happened in the US, trying to disrupt or delegitimize the election if it goes the wrong way for them.
Oh, so they want to win, but if they feel like it's losing, then they're going to fuck it up.
Yeah, then they're going to kind of go, oh, there's discrepancies. But they were doing these online seminars trying to train people to go in and kind of work as security, how to basically infiltrate and become a security person at an election, during the account. So that was one thing that's happened. So it's kind of Trumpy tactics of,
Wow.
if we can't win fairly, then we're going to try and lose unfairly.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The other one is a UCP candidate. It's not looking good for UCP. They are like losing the advantage in the polls, although it's still pretty neck and neck. Another one basically is who has said something horrible about trans kids. She said she basically basically said that if I only put a teaspoon of poop in a cookie recipe, it doesn't matter because it's only a teaspoon, but it'll kind of ruins the whole batch. That was kind of how she described trans kids within like being in schools and stuff. It was pretty
Oh, I was wondering where she was taking that, because like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the whole cookie thing, but not with the trans thing. That's a horrible way to put it. Like, yeah, if someone puts a scoop of it was clever and horrible at the exact same time.
It was folksy. It was like a folksy way of saying,
Yeah.
but she was using it.
It's like an old an old piece of wisdom passed down from your grandfather sitting on a porch in a swing. Now, son, now listen here. All right, I don't know how else to tell you this, but if you're making a batch of cookies, it doesn't matter how much poop you put in it. All right, I know you're thinking, well, what if I just put a little bit of poop in it, Grandpa? No, son, not any poop. It'll ruin the whole batch. That's from my head to yours. Keep that advice. Just tell your kids that, okay?
So
No poop in the cookies.
She's basically saying that, yeah, she's using that. So as far as she's concerned, trans kids in schools are a dollop of poop in an otherwise normal batch of cookies.
Okay. First off, a dollop should never use measurements of any kind for poop. Okay, because poop is poop. It's not like
half a cup of poop. So ultimately,
that's a horrible thing to say.
Horrible person using folksy language to say terrible things. I kind of had to read it a few times to work out what the hell she was saying, because it was kind of a very weird way of just being. Because folksy hate speech. That's what we all
folksy hate speech. All right.
Exactly.
I like that.
And then the other one, the UCP is also running a racist candidate in Calgary. So,
Like openly racist?
well, he used to post a lot on Facebook.
My name is Mark and I'm a racist. Vote for me. Like, really?
So he's on an old Facebook post. Miles McDougall basically said he doesn't believe that black people want education and they live in a ghetto culture. Was kind of a taste of the kind of posts he used to make.
Wow.
He's currently running in Calgary. So, yeah, if you wanna vote for him, if you live in that area, maybe.
Well, at least we know where these fuckers are. That's
Well, at least they're being open about it,
right? Yeah.
yeah. At least you're making an informed choice because they go in their true colors.
Thank God, man.
And then
There's this weird obsession about being right, having to be right rather than learning. You know, because learning is filled with faults. You know, you try, you fail, you learn something, you learn that what you learned wasn't right. It's all about like just expanding your consciousness and expanding your knowledge. But people are obsessed these days with having to come across as being right. It's more important that the person sitting across from you knows that you're correct rather than teaching them something. It doesn't matter if you teach them something. You just need them to know that you're right. It's a weird fucking obsession. I feel like the world has gone crazy with it.
Oh, the power of the statement, I don't know, I don't understand it.
Right?
So my response on this show when you ask me something I don't know is go read a book.
And like, and having it not be so close to your heart and your ego, like, you like, to our listeners, do you have any idea, dear listener, how many messages and emails we've gotten thanking us for like, oh, like I've had someone say like, I've never heard someone, two people disagree politically and then later on admit that they were wrong and that the other person made a good point. I've never heard that ever. And like we've had people say that to us, and it mainly comes from me because Reese is the educated one here in politics, and I'm not. Well, more than I am. You're more invested interest, but like the reason I'm able,
I just got a British accent. It just sounds
well,
like
that helps. It sounds like you know what you're talking about because you're fucking Welsh accent. But like, I think one of the reasons it really helps me to be able to admit that I'm wrong is because I don't fucking care. I don't care if I'm wrong about politics. I have no stakes in this game at all. Oh, fuck me. I was wrong about that. Oh, well, who cares? Like, it's just, you know, stop caring so much. Anyway, that's my little mini rant over.
Anyway,
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say was apparently the Alberta Ethics Commissioner also found that Danielle Smith was trying to interfere in a court case against a Calgary street preacher. So basically, they were the preachers who were getting arrested for
Those the ones with the megaphones and they stand in a little box.
Sermons during like they were holding sermons during lockdown and they weren't supposed to. So like it was one of those things where it was. She's also been found that she was interfering as premier with a legal proceeding.
Sorry. Say that again. Not the whole thing, just the ending.
Street preacher was was like being charged with crimes, against lockdown rules.
Yeah, I got that.
And that has been going on within the judicial system in Alberta. Meanwhile, Danielle Smith, who's the premier, which is a separate branch of government, was trying to use her influence as premier to make sure to kind of affect the outcome of that legal process.
Oh wow, fuck! There's a lot going on, man. This is like 3 juicy bits in one.
I know.
Holy
So
shit.
this is why we had to do an update. There's so much going on. Meanwhile, everything
Corrupt premier, wildfires, and election tampering.
Anti-trans candidate.
Anti-trans candidate, racist candidate. Holy shit! This is a whole box of juicy bits. This is a bucket of juicy bits.
I was in Alberta and I just go, who can I vote for? They'll just give me a quiet time. And we'll probably put the fires out.
You put that in a newspaper, you're going to get some very interesting responses. Who can put my fires out with a quiet time?
Yeah, no, the last thing I wanted to cover, I'm bombarding you in like an ADHD way with like...
I love it. Keep it coming.
So the last one was, because of the wildfires, the federal government has come and they sent the army in to help with the wildfires out. So during the hurricane in Halifax...
What, they can shoot the fire? What the fuck? It's not working!
Try firebombing it. Anyways. So what happened was, remember when the hurricane in Halifax knocked all the trees down? the army
Hurricane 1 in 2003.
No, the one that happened last year.
Oh, okay.
The army came in with chainsaws and helped clear a bunch of logs, which is nice of them. So I imagine they'll give them firefighting equipment and they'll just go out and they'll try and help. But because people are so obsessed with the kind of like the constant feed of right-wing conspiracy, there's a video by this man who claims that they're not actually to help with the massive wildfires. It's the UN, and they've come to round people up. And this is a video clip of someone.
You have a video clip? All right.
I got a video clip of someone I found on Twitter.
This is like 6 things, man. This is crazy. We should have done 6 separate.
From Ontario, especially, they are hearing a lot that this military presence here in Alberta isn't here to fight these fires. And there's rumors that it's not even our military, it's the UN and a bunch of BS. So if anybody in Alberta here got some time on their hands, what are those areas where they're called military and I've seen 3 yards, and so you can get some like in-person chat or whatever, I don't know. But we gotta figure out what's that flying F that's going on here. Right, I've got to telling us it's roundup time for them, you know what I mean? It's a roundup up. Anyways, you guys have a good day, and get back to you.
Well, he was right about one thing. It is BS. That's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but like, is that bad that your community is on fire, people come to help, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh wow, they must be here to round us up.
That's amazing. That's fucking amazing. Wow. Well, why didn't we do like 6 different juicy bits? We just like crammed as much as we could into. I mean,
this is just the last like 48 hours.
Oh wow. Right, and we want to stay topical, so this is for juicy bits to be topical. Exactly. I want to apologize again, dear listener, for this quality of my audio. I like good quality, and I'm quite positive this is not going to sound very good. So, what are you doing back there, Reese? He's twisting himself 180.
No, the batteries just died in my mouse.
Oh, I thought you said in your mouth. Okay.
I thought it was got a backup mouse.
I mean, it sure looked like that's what you had behind you there. So before we go, there's one crazy thing. First off, I want to thank everyone for leaving the speak pipes that we did. We keep asking everyone to leave speak pipes, and then we don't play them. And that's very irresponsible of us as podcast players.
The next juicy bit is going to be based on a speak pipe, so shut your face.
Okay, sorry. That's my bad. Yeah, my face is shutting. No, it's not. I have more things to say. So, Antigonish.
Antigonish.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
You're Antigonish, and you're one of the nearly 2,000 people in a
almost 2,000. Sorry, go ahead, Reese. You're saying
if you're an Antigonish and you're one of the like nearly 2,000 responsible for the huge amount of downloads in a very small town, it's a bizarre statistical quirk. Please email us and let us know why the hell you're listening to our show. Why so many people? If we're going to start a cult based off this show, that's ground zero. Right?
Like we don't. Antigonish is a population of 5,000 people. And we've had 2,000 downloads, about almost 2,000 downloads in just a few weeks. No, about a few weeks. But still, like we don't know what's going on. We have no idea. It's surpassed like so many other. It's crazy. So like, if you're
more in Antigonish this week than Ottawa.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna make a deal here. Because nobody really responds to our queries, which is weird. It's weird. No, that's not true. No, people don't respond to our questions, our queries, our call to actions. They just do their own thing, which is way better. Like we'll get fucking slippers in the mail and a box of chicken and like shit like this. We don't ask for those things. They just come to us. So like I'm going to try to get this one to happen. If you're an Antigonish and you're listening to this right now, if you're the first person to call up and leave us a speak pipe explaining why so many people in Antigonish are listening to this, we will send you a $10 Tim Hortons gift card or a T-shirt. You want to send a T-shirt? Oh, that's way better. Way better. We'll send you a Canadian Politics is Boring T-shirt. One size fits all as long as you're large. So that's...
If you're a large, if you're small, then just use it to...
wipe your face in the morning.
Sleep in. If you're an XXXL, then I don't know, just look at it as a goal to fit in that one day.
And if it's been like 3 days since this has been released, and you're like, oh, well, there's no way I'm going to be the first. Trust me, nobody fucking listens to our call to action. Call us. Speakpipe.com/Canadian politics is boring. You can leave an anonymous voicemail, although emailing us would be better because that way we can find your address. Well, we can get in touch with you if you do a SpeakPipe. We can respond to you do a SpeakPipe. And then we'll find out your address.
CanadianPoliticsIsBoring@gmail.com. CanadianPoliticsIsBoring@gmail.com. First person from Antigonish to solve this. We might need proof you live there.
Well, that's why we're gonna email that. We're gonna mail them a shirt. If we're mailing them anywhere other than Antigonish, that might be a sneaking suspicion they're not from Antigonish. Just saying.
Oh, the first person's in Vancouver. The first person to tell us what's happening in Antigonish is in Vancouver. Great.
I'd love a SpeakPipe, honestly, but if you want to get a hold of us anyway, get a hold of us. This is a mystery.
This juicy bit was very juicy.
Very juicy, very chunky.
We need to end it.
Yeah, it's getting on there. It's getting long in the tooth, as they say.
Canadian politics is boring juicy bits.
Dance!